So we're going to kick this thing off in just a minute. I'm going to let Toby take over in a minute too, but there are a whole bunch of sponsors that made today happen. So if you have never been to in fact, let's just ask, quick show of hands or make some noise. How many of you have been to a Masterclass Orlando session sometime before? Raise your hand or make some noise. If this is your first time, welcome. We do this on the third Thursday of every month with no ulterior motive, no recruiting, no affiliation with a board or politics or any brokerage. And we do this, like I said, third Thursday, 9:30 to 11. So next month, in fact, I'm going to hit this button real quick and make it live. Next month's session is going to be on June, what's the third Thursday? Yell it out. It's the 19th. For those of you who didn't know. But here's the deal. June 19th, it's live right now at MasterclassOrlando.com. The first 70 tickets are free, or maybe it's 75. The next tickets all cost at least 10 bucks a piece. So there's about 100 of you in this room, maybe a few less. You should get the free tickets like now. We just became live. You should pull out your phone, go to MasterclassOrlando.com, register for free. We don't take attendance. You might as well take a free spot while they're still there, but they'll be gone in the next few days. So I'll say that one more time. Next month's session is June 19th. Grab your spot for free now. Next month is going to include a brunch buffet from Harry Buffalo, so you'll get free food. Make some noise for that. That's pretty sweet, right? And we're going to have Loretta Maimone, who's awesome. If you don't know Loretta, she is old school, and she sells like $35 million in the Mount Dora area each year. We're going to have Lee Goldberg, who just the two of them are like some of the most biggest personalities in real estate. We'll be adding a few more people to that panel. You're going to want to join us. Anyway, we put this thing on. Let's just give a quick round of applause. There are about 80 advertising partners of real producers that support this thing. Can we give them a round of applause? If you're one of the advertisers, just raise your hand. They're all vetted by us, and they're all referred by other top 500 agents. So just to be clear, no vendor in this room is here by accident. If you meet somebody that's a service provider, it means they're legit. It means they work with top producers. It means they're going to be here for a while. They support the platform, and you want to do business with them. We got about 10, 11 of them that supported today. Extra, so I'm going to give each of them just a minute to speak and share who they are and what they do. It's not long enough to explain everything, but make sure you follow them, like them on Facebook, and connect with these people. They're all awesome. Real quick, we'll give a 1, 2, 3 clap. I'll kick it off because I know Shay Walker isn't able to be here physically today, but could we give a 1, 2, 3 clap for Shay, who does awesome branding photography? 1, 2, 3. Or just clap, clap, that works. And we'll just bring up the rest of our sponsors. I'm going to let Mario speak for Vic DeVore. And yeah, we'll kick this thing off. Let's do this, guys.
All right. So I am not Vic DeVore. My name is Mario Dennis. I'm the broker of Dennis Realty Partners. And Vic and his family are under the weather, so he asked me if I could come up here and say a few words on his behalf, and I said, say less and buy me a drink next time. And so I'm just going to tell you guys 3 things that make DeVore to me an essential partner that I use in our business every single week. The first thing will be efficiency. So when we use Vic DeVore for photography and you use the DeVore design portal, you're able to download your media very easily. You're able to create your marketing materials very easily. And they also will upload Zillow 3D tours and video directly to Zillow, so you don't have to do it. More efficiency means less time and less cost for you when you're putting new listings up in the market. The second reason is reliability. Give them 2 or 3 days heads up, and 9 out of 10 times they'll be able to make your pictures happen and make you look like a rock star. And the third one is consistency. No matter where you're doing pictures, whether it's Oviedo or Mount Dora or Kissimmee, no matter which photographer from DeVore Design shows up, you're going to receive a consistent product each and every time, which is huge when you're working with referrals and so forth. Everybody feels like they're getting the same quality product, whether it's vacant land, a trailer, or a multi-million-dollar property. And I'll give you 2 bonuses. One bonus is, you know how your sellers right now are like, it's a seller's market, I don't need to clean the house, it can't stay cluttered, because I'm going to sell it anyways and get multiple offers. We know that's not exactly true, and DeVore Designs can do virtual decluttering of those rooms so that they actually look nice when you put them on the market. They can do virtual staging, they can do headshots, they can do event photography, and Aaron told me to get off, but I got to do the DeVore selfie, so I'm going to do that right now. And thank you, everyone.
Love it. Let's give it up for Mario and DeVore Design. Let's keep going. Richard.
Test. Good morning, everybody. I am not Heather Hurry, my marketing specialist. I'm Richard, the manager of Pillar to Post. I'd rather be in a crawl space. Somebody told me to say that. There she is. Those of you who don't know us, we've been in business over 20 years. We got 8 full-time inspectors, and we're a one-stop shop. We do everything. Win Miss 4 points. We do our own WDOs. We actually print out the reports right there on site, so it's 0 wait time, especially in this crazy market you guys are dealing with when you got a 3 to 5 day contingency period. I'm going to be staying for lunch. If anyone wants to touch base with me, feel free to join. Everybody have a great day. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Hope Richards. I am attorney and owner for RTR Title. Because I'm an attorney, I also see the other side of real estate in the courtroom. And I've been seeing a lot of chatter in the Facebook group from you guys, talking about, is there going to be a market correction? The good agents are preparing for that. Are there any indicators? So I was going to tell you an indicator that I've noticed in the last 2 months. I am the queen of investment real estate. I come from the short sale REO hedge fund world. It has been years since I have worked a short sale. I have 6 in my office right now. So that's my tidbit. Take it for what you will. Y'all have a good day.
Good morning. One of the scary things about being up here is you don't know if you went to the bathroom and there's flies down. No, nobody look. Or you split your pants when you try to get up on stage. So anyway, my name is Steve Bell. I'm a partner with Harding Bell International. We are a CPA firm specializing really in anything in the real estate realm, property management, accounting, real estate agents, investors, specifically foreign investors. So I'm really excited today about this because if you work in the Disney area, you're going to deal with foreign investors, and that's what our specialty is. We help them with their tax filings, setting up corporations, LLCs, if they need that, ITIN numbers, EIN numbers, all those types of things, as well as we would love to be on your team and be your accountant or CPA of choice, kind of to help and advise your clients before they buy, when they sell, when they need to do FERPTA. That's really our specialty, so super excited to hear these guys today because it's really going to be good. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing? Still asleep, I can hear. How are you guys doing? Good. My name is Charisse with Celebration Title Group, where it's more than just our title, it's our mantra, I like to say, because we truly believe in redesigning the closing experience. As you know, we are famous for our confetti closing, but that is really just the sprinkle on top of what we provide, because there's so much more value, whether you're needing help with marketing, leads, assistance with our attorney, we can give legal advice. Fun fact, our first office did start in Celebration. So that being said, 70% of our files was working with investors and dealing with FERPTA. We work very closely with Steve and his team. So one thing I love about Celebration Title Group is how can we always curate the experience, really giving that magical moment, which I'm so excited to hear from our experts soon. So we got together with our marketing team and we said, how can we give that experience and really hit all 5 of the senses? So our marketing team came up with that great idea. Who here has been to a JW or Marriott before? Okay? And when you walk in, they have that distinct smell that smells so good, right? So when you walk into that lobby, you know you're on vacation. So at Celebration Title Group, we decided we wanted to curate our own smell and our own coffee, really creating that whole overall experience. So when you walk into any of our 15 locations or one of our new franchise office that just opened in Houston, you know you're at Celebration Title Group, getting ready to celebrate and create that new chapter for your client or you. Again, my name is Charisse, and I cannot wait to celebrate with you guys soon. Thank you.
Hello. Well, now that everyone's looking at me, that's exactly what I needed to happen. My name is David Buckles. I own Reliant Home Offer. We're a local real estate investment company here in Central Florida, and we specialize in creative finance and fix and flip. We're actively buying about 2 to 3 houses a month. We're always looking for the next deal, and so we want that like crazy cat lady house. We want the hoarder house. We want your fixer-uppers. But more than that, today I want to share with you something that we're launching for homeowners in Central Florida called the Get Paid to Upgrade program. Get Paid to Upgrade is perfect for the sellers who they have equity in their home, right? They want to unlock the full equity potential in the home, but maybe the home is in disrepair. Maybe it needs to be upgraded. Maybe it needs to be brought to 2022 standards, but they just lack the resources to do that. We're so confident that we can help your sellers unlock the full equity potential that we'll use our own money to make those upgrades in the home and help sell that house for top dollar. What does that mean? It means they walk away from the closing table with more money. It means you get a higher list price. It means you get a higher commission. So if that's something that interests you, if you know a seller who fits that mold, again, my name's David Buckles. Connect with me on Instagram, and I look forward to connecting with you guys.
How you guys doing? I'm Ryan Plaza, and Aaron is telling me to hurry up, so we're going to make this quick. We got a program, too, here at Home First Lending. We just launched our Better Than Cash program. What does that mean for you? If you want to take your conventional VA, FHA loans and turn them into cash, we will back those offers for you. Why is it better than cash? Because we all know even cash deals could fall apart, and we're guaranteeing that we will buy that house if that deal falls apart for your client in the process. So if you want to know about this program, go ahead and text me at 321-427-9602. That's 321-427-9602, and I'll make sure that I'll get you that program and get you enrolled. Take care.
Hello. Hey, I'm Cameron Foster with Old Republic Home Protection. At Old Republic Home Protection, we have one of the most cost-effective warranties on the market in the state of Florida. We have more coverage and higher limits of liability than any other warranty company in the state. Aside from our home warranty plan, I do want to point out in this crazy market, I know a lot of warranties are missed on the contract. Well, as a realtor, you can provide a warranty for your clients up to 30 days after closing with no penalty. And we also have payment plans available. So reach out to me. Thank you.
Real quick, before Stephanie with the home team brings us home, I want to just give a quick shout out to the supporting sponsors today. The HWA, Central Florida Building Inspections. We've got Title Genius, and we've also got Candace Griffin with Griffin Investment Strategies. Let's give them just a 1, 2, 3 clap. 1, 2, 3. And let's let Stephanie bring this thing home. Love it. You can say it one more time. Go ahead.
Oh, again?
They heard the beginning. Everyone got it? We got it. We're golden. All right. I'm about to hand you this one in a second. All right. Let me bring up your panelists. Anyone here ready to learn something? If you are, make some noise. All right. So first things first, we've got Luis German. He is a Disney real estate wizard, 11 years of experience, a certified luxury home marketing specialist, part of the $1 Million Gold. He has listed and sold homes there over $5 million in value. He's been an Orlando Real Producers 35 under 35. He's been in the Power Couple edition as well. He's from Maine and moved here in 2011 to work in real estate with his older brother Carlos. Now works with his wife Sammy, who's also here. And he helps buyers and sellers in competitive Disney market. He has extensive experience helping clients from all around the world invest in Disney. And he's going to be talking about how he's able to sell homes faster and for 18% more than others, how he sells homes that have bonus commissions and things along those lines. Let's give it up for Luis German. Next up, we've got Luana Leventhal. She's a broker associate, a resident of Polk County for over 10 years. She sold $21 million as a single agent last year and works primarily with sellers, both locally and internationally. She's with Compass Orlando. She's a founding agent. She's performed in the top 500 of real producers for the last several years, and she absolutely crushes that Polk County corner of the Disney side of town. So let's give it up for Luana Leventhal. Next up, we got TJ Cosgrove from Reunion Realty. He started it as an independent brokerage in 2009. Their total sales are over $750 million with only 10 agents. 2021, they closed $152 million with only 8 agents. 2022, they're already at $158 million between the 10 agents, and they're pacing for over $300 million. They're the highest home sold in Osceola County at $11.7 million. And what's cool about them is they specialize in working with people that came to a resort, that they're not your average person that's looking to buy or sell in Orlando necessarily. They are literally pulling them off not the streets, but they're pulling them off the streets essentially, right? And teaching them why they should want to move to Orlando, and then selling them giant homes. So they sell the fun and specialize in the Disney corridor, selling some of the most incredible vacation homes in the country, and they've even had one of their homes on Saturday Night Live, which is pretty cool. Let's give a giant round of applause to TJ Cosgrove. By the way, I think TJ's ranked in the top 5 or 6 agents in the whole city right now. Is that pretty cool? Woo! All right, and last but certainly not least is going to be our moderator, Tobi Moyle. She is an expert when it comes to sales and leadership. She spent 20 years with 2 of America's largest financial institutions. She won all sorts of awards. Don't worry, I won't. Won all sorts of awards, was the VP of Georgia and Florida, was basically like a legendary regional manager with some very giant banks. She now is a Maxwell certified coach. She's a leadership coach. She's super involved with NAMBA and NAREP and Women's Council and Aura and every other organization that you could possibly think of. Here to bring you a ton of knowledge, expertise, and energy. Let's just give a giant round of applause to Tobi Moyle with Life is a Ladder Coaching.
Thank you, guys. We are thrilled to be here. I know you guys are ready to get some good nuggets, but before we do, and he's probably going to kill me for doing this, so you guys have to protect me afterwards, but I would like to do a 1, 2, 3 clap for Aaron himself, because this guy is just a trooper. He works so hard, and we know this, right, to put these events on, to bring value to you guys. He's passionate about it like I've never seen anybody, and he does it even when he's not feeling well. So let's give him a 1, 2, 3 clap for Aaron. Thank you.
Thank you. One thing I want to say real fast before I forget. We're going to be giving at the end of this session at least $500 to Pet Alliance. It's probably up to $600 or $700 right now. So thank you guys. And the first $600, that's $500 in food and $100 in tips, spent at the bar or the restaurant afterwards is going to be on us. So thank you guys. Spend some money, eat some food, stick around after. If you don't see me at the end and I sneak out, it's because I just had back surgery. But the first $500 worth of food and $100 in tips is on us, so don't forget that and stick around.
Thank you, thank you. I'll hand this to you. So I'm not going to be doing most of the talking. This is all about you guys. I don't want to hear from me. So I have the easiest job in the house. So Aaron just shared some awesome statistics, and I think they're very impressive, and each one of you in your own right. I would like to start by asking TJ, was this all part of your plan from the beginning? Because you built this humongous team, you're doing crazy volume. I'm a fan, I know many of you are as well, of being a specialist, right? Having a niche market, be it geography, be it specialty, customer, client, being special that you offer. Was this all part of your plan?
Absolutely not. So, the plan is when you get your real estate license that you get a little certificate with a grainy picture that says you passed, right? P for pass. And when you walk out of that, having your real estate license, I think all of us in this room might have said, what next, right? And that's the difficult part of real estate is what do you do? When do you do it? And how do you do it? And if you have mentorship or leadership that's able to help you and guide you through a very difficult industry at times and markets, etc. But we were able to, and I'll just point to my wife here, because in 2009 we set out as the real estate market crashed on the bottom, and we set up our own real estate brokerage. Lucky us, right? So you start going around and you're seeing what bank-owned properties are, and you try to figure out how to sell those and short sales and everything else. And we did a heck of a job, and we ended up going from 2 people in a room that was literally 9 by 11, and we grew to a team of what we have now. Right now is 10 and growing. So getting all the way there is something that has been very rewarding for everyone around us. But you got to work hard in this business, and it's the same for all of us.
And we'll unpack that a little bit about how you went from start to building in a team of 10. Luana, can you tell us a little bit about what people might be kind of surprised to know about your market and what you do?
I think that our market is just so affordable, and it's not actually as complicated, I think, sometimes as people make it out to be, or agents may think that it is, or even our clients may think that it is. I think that there's an abundant amount of opportunity, and there's space for everyone to take part in what's happening in the Disney area, most especially. It's a really exciting time to get involved, so I encourage each of you to get your feet wet. Don't be intimidated by a new market, and just dive in. You'll be really proud of where you are in a couple of years. I can assure you of that.
Good. And if you don't mind, Louise, telling us a little bit about your buyer demographic, or seller for that matter. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
So I think, well, you know, our clients, I think for the most part, are from all over the world. Very, very few people that I work with are here locally. So they're either flying into town, we're speaking, you know, on the phone or via email from the other side of the world. I've closed deals where I've never met the client. And I've helped people buy and sell where I've never met the client, from Sweden, from UAE, expats. And I think one of the coolest things about it is just the stories, right? Everyone has a different motivation. Everyone has a different goal in mind. And you're talking to people, all different time zones. I remember one client, you know, I had to be up at 1, 2 in the morning every night for a conference call with them, you know, for that deal we were working on. So all over the world.
So I'm guessing that everyone's gotten comfortable with using Zoom these last couple of years, but I'm guessing Zoom and virtual meetings were a part of your life for a long time.
You know, when the pandemic hit and everyone's talking about virtual tours and Zoom, and that was a huge part of our business long before that. So we were already used to selling homes sight unseen. We were used to doing video walkthroughs and tours for clients and closing deals where they either never saw the home or they never, the specific home, they never even flew into town. That was normal.
So I'm you in the audience. How the heck do you find these clients then? And I'll give you all the opportunity. So how does that happen? Where do they come from?
Give us your secrets, Luis.
Yeah, give us all.
Time to spill.
We're all taking notes. Tell us.
So for us and our team, you know, I worked with my brother Carlos, and he started around the same time TJ did, and he did a lot in Reunion and decided to focus not just Reunion, but the entire Disney area. And the secret sauce was Google. It was keywords. It was building a website that was the best resource that an out-of-town person could have. And when you're building that website and you have all of the data, you have all of the community information, you're using keywords, you're doing search engine optimization, we were generating tons and tons of leads via our website. And you know, just thinking outside the box, you could run a search on any website right now while on our website, one of the best features we had was every single property tells you how far it is to Disney, like automatically. So everyone wants to be close to Disney World. So you can just run your search 5 miles, 10 miles. And that was just our biggest thing for the longest time.
Yeah, and I want to hear how much the Disney market plays into your business as well. But what about you, Lou?
My secret sauce is a little less cool. I'm going to give the unglamorous answer of property management. I'm rural Polk County, so I'm very relationships and face-to-face. That's been a huge part of my business personally. And so there are property management companies that don't have brokers that are very involved on the vacation side. So we get a lot of referral business just from those relationships. And that's been just an integral part for me of being able to convert those listing leads and those sellers that are foreign nationals. I think engaging with property management early is a great way to keep the home in wonderful condition. And if you bring the home on management, they're going to kick it right back to you, ready to go and ready to list. So networking with different management companies has been great for me.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? Because I would assume, having not had conversations before we talked, I would have assumed that it was kind of the same demographic of client, at least for me, investor only, one kind of avatar of someone. And so you guys really have different models and go after it really a different way. What about you, TJ?
Everything is always in play, you know, and we do a lot of red light, green light when it comes to marketing to get a lot of feelers out there. And at any one time we have 14, 15 different numbers that are tracked so we can see what's working. But just from a show of hands, has anyone in here, or how many people have sold in the Disney corridor to an investor who's not primary? Yeah, okay, that's about probably half the people in here. And, you know, there's a great opportunity in this marketplace because whether you sell in Windermere or a Celebration or Winter Park, You have your buyers that purchased or your homeowners know of somebody that has asked the questions, I want to buy an investment property. And there's tremendous opportunity. And if I could just talk for 1 second, if you look in a more or less a 3.5 mile radius, there's been last year, in the last 365 days, there's been $4.5 billion sold in the last year. So
What's the commission on that?
110,362,000. Oh, sorry. So, you know, and that's the whole thing is when you're looking at breaking into a different market, you know, you really want to be an expert in something, and that's what we set out to do in 2009. Fortunately, we anchored into Reunion Resort specifically, and ended up really marketing to that buyer and capitalizing on a large percentage of the sales that happen in there. And we have on-site presence now and things like that. But if you guys are looking to really get into the real estate market, into the Disney corridor, there's so much opportunity there to be an expert at something. You know, find a community, you know, highlight what the potential sales are, like a Solterra, just as a community. And, you know, that did $220 million last year in sales. And there's no Mr. or Mrs. Solterra. So you can really be an expert and add value to any buyer or seller you might get.
So what about the half, the hands that went up? What do you see that when you're working with an agent from, let's say, outside of your footprint, outside of your area, are there things that they could do to understand the market more? Maybe things are done a little differently. What kind of tips could you give them if they're like, yeah, I'll give it a shot, but...
Yeah, absolutely, and it really comes down to the sales process because a lot of your people who are buying from you, their question, and you can raise your hands to this too, that have sold there, is what does it make, right? Pretty loaded question, right? We all have to be careful of how we mention and talk about those things, and there's really a tactic to be able to put that back onto the property managers about, you know, what a property investment could look like, because they're looking at investment. They're not looking to live there full time, but they do want to use it. And, you know, some of the things that we talk about in our front end is, you know, when they talk about money, you know, we say, are you ever going to use it? Okay, and they're like, oh yeah, of course we're going to use it. And, you know, we start going through a process of talking about, like, well, it's about you, it's about your usage, and how are you going to go about it.
What percentage of your business is primary versus investor and second home? Roughly, I'm curious for all of you.
I'd say investments about 80%.
Same.
Probably the same, if not higher, second home investment. And that's one thing, too, that a lot of it is investment, but a lot of it is purely just a second home, vacation home. I'm retiring soon, you know, property. But, yeah, 80, 90% probably.
And I would definitely say 90%.
Yeah.
We're not experts in the residential area, so we would refer it out to you guys.
Well, so I'm guessing the process is a little different too, because you don't have that emotional type of interaction with your client, right? They're buying this, they're looking more at the numbers more pragmatically than that I have to have it.
Well, they're not emotionally connected to like how the kitchen's laid out or the colors, and you know, we kind of paint around that quite often.
I think it's better in a way. If you can just check the boxes, give them the return that they're looking for, they're going to proceed with the purchase or with the sale in either case. If you're able to connect them with partners that can solve some of the problems that a property even might have, even better. And again, too, most of your investors are not buying one property over the course of a lifetime. I mean, how many properties have you sold to one client? It's not like they wait 7 years. You know, they're constantly buying and selling. And I think education is a big part of that as well, because they don't necessarily keep an eye on our market. So if we're not informing them, how do they know it's a great time to sell? How do they know it's a great time to buy? How do they know what loan programs may or may not be available? So a big part of that is just reaching them with the information at the right time as well.
By the way, I know
being
Aaron,
a friend.
Yeah.
I know Aaron's walking around out here. He's like a shark in the ocean. I see him. Dun, 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 dun. So if you have any questions, you can always grab Aaron, because we'd love to hear from you guys as well. I'm sure I see people writing down, so you might have something, a pressing question. Go ahead. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't at all. I was just going to say, to Lou's point, is that, you know, anyone who sells, you know, general real estate to somebody who's buying a home for themselves, you know, what's your sales cycle? 7 years, 10 years, 12 years, depending if they're moving for kids in school and things like that. Our sales cycle, just keep it to this room, is like 3 years, like 2 to 3 years. They might own it. The kids graduate from going to Disney, and now they want the lake house, or they're going off to college. They want the money for the, you know, college investment. So it's like a 3-year sales cycle is what I see.
sometimes less than a year.
Right now it is for sure. So we're flipping properties.
I got a question for you guys. What's the average age in this room? Like, how do they take something from this? What do they actually do differently? Like, what could they be doing? Is it adding to their arsenal, selling some vacation homes, or is it adding to their arsenal, looking for people that might want to move to Orlando and marketing that? Like, what are the biggest things that if you were coaching an agent to get going in Orlando, that you would tell them you should learn this from what I've done so far?
I think they're already taking the first step just by being here today to learn about this market. And again, I'm just going to defer back to education. Educate yourself so that you can confidently educate your client. Anybody that's a buyer could potentially be an investor. An investor doesn't have to be a person with $10 million. An investor is anybody who's buying a second home, and we are 100% built for that. So we create those opportunities. I think, you know, wherever you are, whoever your buyer or seller is, there's potential for that. So it's really just get out there, go drive around, check out some of the communities, connect with some partners that are going to help you kind of elevate into that market.
I would say along the same lines, you have to be an expert. You have to know your product, what you're selling, these neighborhoods, the surrounding areas. This type of buyer, and even the sellers, they're not here. They've never been to this neighborhood. They don't know this area. So not only do I need to know the neighborhood, I'm going to go show them a house in potentially, but what's across the street? Because they'll point and ask. And you know, on the way there, you know, where's the nearest hospital? Where's the nearest Publix? Where's the nearest Whole Foods? You know, you're literally selling them not just a property, you're selling them a city, a neighborhood, a lifestyle. You know, you have to know every detail about that area to really, you know, make yourself stand out. Because if you know, even in the neighborhoods that you do sell today, you know, if you don't know everything, well, somebody else does. And for me, one of the things that I try to instill in realtors always, whether they want to sell Disney or not, is find your niche and become an expert at one single thing. Be the best person at one single thing so that you can be known for that. You're still going to get sales, you know, other areas, but be known for one thing.
Yeah, and when it comes to marketing, I'll let you take it. It's so valuable because we like to be generalists. Because I use the analogy of a cast net. We like to think that we're going to catch more by going broad, but it's actually counterintuitive. You're better off to have the exact lure and the exact fishing rod and fish in the right place to catch that exact fish that you want. You have to be specific, right? And you guys, it's one of the many reasons that you're so successful because you have that built-in niche market. You're a specialist in your area. And that could be for anyone. That could be in the neighborhood that you're focusing on right now, holding yourself out as the expert. How much do you really know about it? Speaking of that, I know you're the statistician here, so yeah, you know your market, right?
I get up early.
Just a little?
I get up early. But
what does that actually look like? Like what should an agent be doing to know their market? Like what's the daily activity or the weekly activity or?
I think we're filled with a room full of experts here. So wherever you sell, I would suggest exactly like Louis said, and that is be an expert at something, right? We see it all the time. Realtors that want to come, you know, to have a client that mentioned the word buying in Disney or Disney, and they call and they say, "Can you tell me what's for sale?" And we're like, "Are you on the MLS?" Yeah. I mean, let's start generating some questions for you, and we'll say, "What price point are they looking in?" Literally, it happens probably 80% of the time. I don't know. I haven't asked yet. So it's exciting to get, you know, clients that are, you know, are asking the right questions in a market that we don't know. If you are going to try to make sales in that market consistently, you want to just like wherever else you sell now, you really want to hone in and be an expert somewhere. I would ask you if you're an expert in your own neighborhood. If you're in real estate, are you going out and meeting your neighbors? Are you postcard mailing your neighbors? Are you making sure that they know you sell real estate? Wherever you do, wherever you go, being an expert, I think, is vital.
I'd love to ask you guys where you work and how far out, like how far of a radius do you actually work, and what do you refer out? I'd love to hear that from each of you.
Anything that somebody looking to live in, we refer out.
No, but you sell Reunion, basically. That's it, right?
Well, no, we actually, so we in 2009 we set our brokerage up, so we've been there 14 years, and no, we are out into the Disney corridor. We have a secondary brand called Champions Realty that is coming out. And it's just because that marketplace of $4.5 billion has a lot to offer. And if you have a process and are an expert in the area, then there's a lot to capitalize on, which I suggest everyone, delve into.
I'm Davenport, Champions Gate, and some parts of Kissimmee that kind of border on Champions Gate. If it's past that, I don't drive, I won't do it, I won't list it. I stick to my area, and it works a lot better that way, I think.
Yeah, you stay in your zone, right?
10-mile radius of Disney World. So everything within a 10-mile radius of Disney.
Not Point Siena.
Not Point Siena.
Hey, real quick.
Touche.
Real quick, I want to, we just fixed MasterclassOrlando.com, so if you tried to register for next month's session, or if you just didn't because you weren't listening earlier, you should probably pull out your phone really fast, go to MasterclassOrlando.com, register for June while there's still free tickets so that you don't get charged to come. Just figured I'd point that out since we screwed it up.
So I heard two things that kind of kept coming up when I asked some of my real estate clients about your footprint, your marketplace that lived up in North Seminole County, let's say. And two things came up: language barrier and or cultural barriers, and financing. I'm guessing you're dealing with a lot of cash now, but maybe financing at a different time. Can you speak to those things, and what would you say if somebody's like,
Oh, again, you're dealing with all different types of ethnicities, cultures, religions. You need to know your clientele. Who are you shaking hands with? Who are you not shaking hands with? Bow, whatever it is, right?
Like literally.
Yes, no, literally. What are the cultural norms for who are you meeting with on that day? You need to be prepared. And language barriers is not that big, but we do get a lot of clients that might speak different languages. We need somebody else. I might not be the best person for every single client. If we need a Portuguese speaking person because we have somebody coming from Brazil, or
Call me.
Call Lou. There you go. And what was the second part of that?
How did you learn that? Let's dig down a little bit. Did you if trial and error? Are you goose research?
I made some mistakes early on. Put my hand out to shake a hand that I didn't get the hand back, and I was like, "Oops, my bad." But I forget a book. There's a really good book, which I forget the name of it, and
I'm thinking of it too.
Yes.
Kiss, bow, and shake hands. Yes, great book.
That's good for everybody, right? I mean, that's just good to know anyways. The etiquette of dealing with people in different cultures and different societies. What about you? Do you find financing, that was the other thing, financing and or language barriers? Or
I think regardless of what market you serve, it's our job to be aware of all the options that are available to our clients. So really strong partners are obviously important, but I'm not finding that to be a hurdle currently with what I'm dealing with. I mean, we are seeing a lot of cash, but there's definitely still financing available, and I think things are starting to get better. Culturally, I mean, the same. I'm fortunate, I do speak Portuguese, but if there's a language barrier, I'll partner up with another agent, I'll refer it out. I want any client to have a 5-star experience, and if that's not with me, that's not personal. Yeah. That's just part of the deal.
Yeah, great point. What about you? You speak 80?
Yeah, I don't speak any languages well, including English, but but we managed to get through it. Obviously, a lot of our clientele that comes to the Disney corridor, we do run into situations where they would like, to speak in their native language, which we can solve that problem by partnering up with other real estate agents, and we got some on our team as well to speak Portuguese and Spanish. And you do learn. I've had clients educate me on, especially from like the Middle East, especially if they're royalty, is how you are to treat them and such that they would like to be treated, but it's very kind and understanding, and when you learn about people, it's pretty cool. You build a nice relationship with them that way. And as far as lending goes, we do struggle with lending, certainly at times.
What
because
percentage would you say right now of your buyers are cash?
I hate to tell everyone in this room, right? We're about 50-50. So 50% are cash buyers, and it's getting more and more because the prices have gone up so much. So it's getting a little bit more of a challenge. Appraisals, we're having problems on appraisals coming in quite often. And, you got to coach on both sides there. So.
I got a question for you guys. I'm going to switch gears for a second. You guys are selling a lot of vacation homes. I'd like to know, and this one comes from the audience, what's the typical ROI or return on investment for vacation homes right now? What type of percentages are they doing? How are you promoting vacation rent? Like when someone asks you about the investment opportunity of vacation homes in Orlando near Disney, what are you telling them to expect, and what are the tips you're giving them? I'll start with you, Luis.
I'm not a financial advisor, and I recommend we speak to property managers. The property managers who are going to be booking and managing your property for you are going to give you much better insight into what you can make.
I love it. So they're again sticking to your lane, right? You don't need to muddy the water. Bring in the experts and let them do their thing.
Yes.
You don't want to get in a violation of any sort. You do not want a client ever buying something based on, you know, investment. We don't sell securities. I know Steve Bell's up there, so I just want to make sure we cover that. But we don't sell securities, and you know it's an easy answer to get through. We've mastered it by default, and just saying that, you know, we'll get you with an expert that's what they do for a living. We sell real estate and can offer you find you the best deal.
So let's dig down a little deeper into your literal schedule, your day. So you each are doing a ton of volume. I know you have teams. So what does your day look like? Are you actually talking to clients every day? Do you have somebody on your team that's doing that? Like, what is your actual schedule? How do you get all this done? All these Zoom calls? All right, we'll go with Liz first. Go ahead, Liz.
I think the most challenging aspect is being on other people's time a little bit more frequently when you work with people who don't necessarily live in the same time zone. So it does make things a little unpredictable. Start the day definitely very early with a good breakfast, some coffee. Always try to hit the gym or something like that in the morning, and then straight into appointments. I do my computer work at the end of the day and first thing in the morning before real estate world wakes up. So between the hours of like 6 and 9, I'm on my computer to catch emails that came in from different time zones, and then I end my day there again as well. I usually log off somewhere around 9 o'clock. But I try to do as much in person as I can. Obviously during business hours, but a lot of that is virtual, doing a ton of virtual consultations. I'm happy to share that with anyone. If anyone ever wants it, just shoot me a text and I'll send you a copy of what I use. But consultations back to back to back most of the day.
What about you, TJ? I feel like you get up really early since we were texting early in the day. Your day started early?
I get up pretty early, so I feel like I need to win the morning because that's the quietest time of the day to really catch up. And of course, by the time we're dealing with international clients, we typically have, you know, email getting full and things like that. But yeah, go to the gym, work out, and hit the day running. But it's kind of, we're in real estate, right? So imagine anyone following you around in your real estate day and how chaotic it can be. It's no different for anyone else. It's just how much chaos can you take, I think.
Yeah.
For me, you know, the first actionable thing I do every day is look at the market. One of the things we spoke about earlier was how do you learn, you know, what do you want to do to learn the market and be an expert at it? For me specifically, maybe 10 years ago, I set up all these different searches for different parameters in my market. And I'm talking very specific, you know, price points, one for condos and townhomes, one for homes, a couple different searches specifically for Reunion Resort. And every single day for that many years, I'm seeing what's coming into the market, what's going pending, what's going sold. And that's how I start my day, every single day, looking at that. And because of that, over the years, I start to see the prices change or go up or down. And obviously for clients that are on searches, I have automatic searches for them, so they get the same thing at the same time, but I get it too. So I'm texting them before they've even opened their email. But for me, a typical day, honestly, is at home because I'm either on the phone or on my email talking with out-of-town clients, you know, and one good thing, you know, for me is typically when my clients come into town, I know weeks in advance, sometimes I know months in advance, so I'm blocking those dates out. I'm setting those appointments well in advance. I'm usually not like, oh my God, I gotta go show a house right now and, you know, and out the door. so I can kind of control my schedule a little bit better.
You're managing your time, quite literally. Yes. Yeah, and you have to, right? So talk to me a little bit more. I noticed a lot of people writing notes when you were talking about your online advertising. To the degree you're comfortable sharing, can you share a little bit about what you're doing online? Are you doing social ads, Google AdWords?
I want to add to that. Let us also know in that marketing how much of it centers around Disney and tourism related stuff, and how much of it is the same stuff that agents would do in other sides of town.
So, everyone has a real estate website. Who has their own real estate IDX website here? Raise your hands. About half of the room. Everyone should have, at the very least, you should have your own IDX website. So how are you going to target, first you have to know who you're targeting, right? So what is the buyer profile? Where are they from? What do they look like? What are they looking for? And then I can start creating content directed at that buyer. So again, right, if you're building up a website that is going to rank high on different searches on Google, you need to have a lot of content on your website. So blogs, and it could be lifestyle blogs. I think, Aaron, we spoke about him being here today, but Mr. Pozick, I think, is the king of this because he's creating content not just about real estate, but about everything that the people who come here want, right? Dining, shopping, the parks,
the weather,
everything that's going on. You can sell $100 million home, $100 million worth of real estate and never talk about real estate. So you have to know who your target audience is, and you have to be putting content out there, whether it's on social media, YouTube, your own website.
Is there anything that's worked really well that you were almost surprised that it worked so well? Like, you know what I mean? Like, wow, that really got some clients.
Again, the biggest thing for us was our website, and one thing to keep in mind, right, with the Zillows and the Realtor.coms of the world, people who are not from here, they are signing up and they are looking at multiple websites. So even if somebody does go on Realtor.com or Zillow.com, they're still looking and Googling or YouTubing, local resources. So you can stand out even though you're not on one of those platforms as the local expert resource for that person.
Can you get more specific on what makes your website stand out? What is it that stands out on your website? What are the things you've learned? Where should someone start building their website? What should definitely be included on that website?
All right. So
he's like, let me tell you.
Every single neighborhood that is within our market has their own page on our website, right? So our website itself might pop up on a search, but if you search a specific neighborhood, that specific page might pop up, right? I'm talking about data. The more data you have, the higher you rank. So when you have a website and when you have a real estate website and there's only the front page and then the rest of it is listings, you're never going to rank anywhere. But when you have a website that literally has 100 different neighborhoods on it with photos, with market statistics, with what makes that neighborhood special, that's when you're ranking higher and higher and higher. And then you sprinkle in blogs and video blogs and all the rest. That's when you really stand out, and you're going to come up in searches that other people aren't.
Yep. The more specific you are, the better. And I see this every day, right? So when you go back and look at your website, do you have Orlando real estate agent, or do you have the neighborhood Lakewood at the crossings? The more specific you make it, and then you mention that neighborhood a lot on your website, and like you said, pictures, it's all meta tags in that website, right?
And a lot of things are videos now, right? I mean, you must have videos. Videos are a big source of people getting information. So even if it's in your own neighborhood or whatever you're specializing, and saying, if you have community mailboxes and do a little excerpt, hey, here's what the community mailbox is, welcome to the neighborhood. Whatever it is that you sell, whatever niche you're looking at, whether it's the Disney corridor, being very specific, doing blogs. You can, in the Disney corridor, we're very fortunate to have all these vacation homes that are optimized for rental. They got bowling alleys and basketball courts and humongous pools and Star Wars rooms and things like that.
Cool stuff.
Really, really cool stuff. Fun stuff, right? That's why we say we always sell the fun. But if you get into that marketplace, you want to highlight and feature those things. Ken does a really good job at doing that.
By the way, speaking of Ken, if anyone wants to send him your best wishes, he's on bed rest from surgery. So anyone that has seen him speak before that wants to just drop a get well soon on as well, they'll probably appreciate it. I got a question for you guys about all that, basically. When you're selling all these different, like, how much of your job is keeping on top of what's upcoming and what's new, and how much, like, aside from looking at your stuff daily and looking at the market and looking at this stuff, how are you guys kept in the loop on the other, like, TJ, how did you know to go into Champions Gate, for example? Like, how do you guys keep track of what's coming next is kind of what I'm getting at. And what should agents be looking for as telltale signs that there's a new area they should be expanding into?
Yeah, we went in the Disney corridor, which has opened up tremendous opportunity for everybody, especially if you're already focused in the Disney corridor. There's so many new front doors. So thankfully, Lennar, Pulte, D.R. Horton, all these production home builders have been mass producing homes for us to sell, and they've been offering fantastic commissions. So one of the best ways, so this is something I really want everyone to take away here, is that when you're looking to spend marketing dollars, because everything that Louis said is so true, but it sounds like a lot, right? It sounds like, how do I figure that out? How do I get a website? How do I do this? But there's a step-by-step process that you can follow in order to get and be an expert. But you want to circle areas. This is how I did it, right? So I came to the Reunion area and I said, I am going to be the best celebration agent ever. That's what my goal was, right? I went to Celebration. I'm walking downtown and I'm like,
this is a reenactment.
I'm like, holy cow, there's 26 different real estate companies here. I'm like, how am I going to break into that market, right? And they've been there forever. And that's too much of a cost to break into. So then we circled around and we knew about Reunion because of the resort. And we kind of highlighted that. But Champions Gate, like if you circle some of these communities, there's really no one optimizing those different, and there's like 35 of them that are short-term rental communities. It's a great opportunity.
Can you repeat the question? I was so intently listening.
Yeah, how did you decide the market that you were going to go into, and then how do you know what's the next market? There are builders. We didn't even talk about builders and the relationship, if that's a part of your business.
I was joking with my friend Maria last night, and Polk County's been not that cool for a really long time, and that's how long I've been living there. And I said, wherever they build a Starbucks, that's where it's going to be great. So we have 2 in Polk County. I'm totally joking.
It's a good sign.
Yeah. We can get decent coffee now.
That in Publix.
Yeah, but I encourage you guys just to get started. Like when you talk about content creation, you talk about website, you talk about social media, it's so overwhelming, and then you have to pick a community. Obviously, there's a statistical way to run numbers to see where you're going to reach the ROI that you need for your marketing dollars, and that all makes sense. But sometimes it can be a little intimidating to compete against an agent that has a huge market share. So take a smaller community, conquer that community, and then move up to a community that you want to be in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's the guy at the circus spinning the plates, right? He spins one, and then he gets another one going, and another one. He doesn't try to spin them all at the same time.
Let's talk about the pieces, actually.
Yeah,
since you got me thinking about it. What are, like, if I'm an agent and I just picked an area, what are the pieces of content that I need or should have? And what are the what are the pieces of content and what are the resources I should create and have available, whether it's my website, whether it's videos, whether it's a PDF? What are the things that I need, like basics, to start good marketing?
I think it depends on if you want to target buyers or sellers. So I particularly work 90% for listings. So I'm a really big believer in just layering your marketing. And I believe that farming genuinely works, and it's not glamorous, it's not sexy, it sucks. It's the things that we do in the morning that no one sees, that you get no credit for, and they say, oh, listings just fall in your lap. Yeah. They don't fall in your lap. It's literally the mailers, the geo-fencing, geo-marketing, website, social media, everything working together for the overall goal, right? And you get 1 or 2 or 3 listings, how much does it take to recoup your cost? So realistically, I'm a big believer in the farming. There's a lot of value in listings right now, and there's not that many agents doing it. I sent postcards to Canada. I got 3 listing appointments from 1 round of postcards because no one mails overseas, but we do. So
I think you're
making an impact somewhere.
Everyone thinks that everyone else is doing it. We all have a little bit of that. Like, oh, I see them doing that. Or I got a mailer, I got a just listed postcard from someone at my house. So they are just, now in my mind, they're farming that neighborhood. Mm-hmm. It's just not true, guys. So yeah, I think you gotta just pick it. And by the way, there's enough business to go around, as you stated with some of those numbers. There's enough. I don't care if someone is really great at farming that neighborhood. Good. There could be another one. Somebody might not like this.
Yeah, there's new neighborhoods popping up all the time with no experts, and so and other realtors go there and they might have a buyer and they don't know how to show it or sell it, and it's there for everyone's taking.
Yeah, go ahead.
You have to know what are you selling and who are you selling it to, right? So if I'm doing something for a reunion resort, there's a water park, there's 3 golf courses. What's unique about that specific community, and what do I want to talk about that day, right? Because I can make a video, on any neighborhood, and who's going to be the ideal buyer for that neighborhood? What are the amenities? What are the lifestyles? Something that simple. You could go into a neighborhood, talk about the amenities, get a lot of beautiful drone flyover shots, and boom, all of a sudden now you might be the go-to person for that neighborhood because somebody saw that video. It's as simple as that. We have a ton of new construction in our area. Be in tune with the new construction. Go and do a model tour. Go and do a neighborhood tour. Interview the builder, interview the reps, get the information out there. Again, be the resource, and you'll get that business.
Are builders a big piece of your network and your business?
Yes, and I definitely want to talk about the high commission deals that we do at some point, but the way we stay in tune with what's going on is building those relationships with all of the builders, not only in Reunion, but the Lennars and the Pulte's, and knowing when Windsor Island, for example, is coming well before they ever broke ground, because we sell in that community, so we get invited to events where they're letting us know, hey, this is exactly what we're doing, this is how many homes, this is how many townhomes, this is what the amenities are going to look like, we're breaking ground now, phase 1 is going to go on sale in 2 months. Get your clients ready. Well, how easy is it to do that when not only do I know ahead of time, but they've already given me all the material to go out and send it to my clients.
How do you get on those lists? If an agent hasn't been selling those areas, how do they get on those lists? Where do they start?
Show up. Go knock on their door. Yeah.
I mean, I have the list if you want to talk to me.
And for those of you guys that live kind of far, my suggestion also would be to time block, because it is a drive. So don't just go out and see one builder. Schedule 6 or 7 in a day. Get mass content so that you can, work ahead. Work smart, not hard. If you're already doing a virtual showing there, go ahead and create your content at that showing. 2 birds.
Yeah, batch your days, right? And that goes for anybody in this room. Makes sense. Talk about the high commission deals, if you don't mind. I don't know if some of these folks might not know about some of these.
I think one of the coolest things about our market is that new construction vacation homes will pay higher commission, and I'm talking anywhere from 5% up to 10%. So, Windsor Island, for example, which is a Pulte community, was paying 10% on their homes. And Lennar at one point was paying 10% on their homes. And Margaritaville pays 7%. Spectrum at Reunion pays 7%. And, what I would always tell agents is, man, just imagine, just 1 or 2 of those deals a year, the difference that makes. Everyone thinks selling $1 million home is exciting, but it can be really challenging. Well, what if I go sell a $300,000 home at 10% commission? I'm earning the same amount of commission, but on a much easier, less stressful transaction. And forever, my goal was just 1 or 2 of those a year, and my year is going from here to here income-wise. And, we just put a 7% in Margaritaville under contract, and hey, who doesn't want those?
Go ahead, TJ. What about, high commission, builder business?
Yeah, it's easy to chase the money, and we certainly know all the inside when things are coming out to market and what that looks like, and then we get it out to our databases. I think the hardest thing for everyone in here is to build a database of people, and that it does take time. So we're talking from a lot of years of experience up here, but you can do it, and there's a lot of opportunity out there, and even going to the resorts and understanding what's at them and what's coming. The builders will give you the information and try to help you out. They want to sell property. Ask what's future, what's coming next. It's really exciting time.
What are some of the places that are still offering larger than normal commissions that agents should put on their radars ASAP?
Yeah, Margaritaville, Spectrum. There's a couple new developments that are coming out just right in that same area. So I think Windsor, is it Windsor West Side still? Yeah, Windsor Island.
So it's not too late, so to speak. I hear that a lot too, that like everything's just so reserved and it's just a nightmare.
No, it's not too late. Solterra just, built out a whole new section of their neighborhood and it already sold out. And the key is being, on top of your game and knowing when things come out so you have an opportunity to at least present it. And I know, TJ, the commission is great, but it's really what is your client looking for? If this checks all of your client's boxes, if they're looking for a resort-style home in this price, this proximity to the parks, this proximity, to shopping and entertainment, and they just so happen to pay you a great commission, that's just, the cherry on the top. Really is, are you getting your client what they're looking for?
Yeah. So we talked a lot about buyers, and Lou, you brought up a great point about sellers, and that's a big piece of your business. Can you talk a little bit about the differences in your market working with sellers that oftentimes aren't literally here or in this country?
Yeah, the greatest positive is most definitely that they don't need to go anywhere. We don't have to find them necessarily something to buy unless it's a 1031 exchange, in which we still have a longer time frame than we normally even would for post-occupancy. So you're dealing with just a different set of hurdles, but overall it's much easier for them. They don't really need to get the house ready. The house is vacant. If they can get the right price, they will sell. So even if you have a seller that's not necessarily quote unquote ready, and you have a buyer that's looking for A, B, and C, that's the time to hit up your cold sellers. Hey, I have a buyer that meets your criteria. This is where they're at. It works wonders. So the difference is that there are things that they have to be concerned with, like FERPTA, moving their things out of their house, emptying their owner's closets. I won't even tell you a story about that one. I drive a Prius. It was way bigger than a Prius. I had to take, I don't know how many trips in a truck. So there's different hurdles that they have, most definitely. But overall, I think it's an easier process. It's just that they don't actually know when it's a good time to sell. So my job is always, here's an updated evaluation. Here's what's going on in the market. Hey, how are things for bookings? I had a lady I was working with, and I will say the sellers tend to be more of a nurture lead because they just take a little bit longer to convert, right? But I had a lady that I was working with for, I don't know, I've been talking to her for 4 months. And she goes, I have one vacant weekend. I said, give me the weekend, we'll get it under contract. And we did, of course, right? So it's just having those conversations. Yes, they can take a lot longer, but those sellers don't have the same problems that need to be solved. So there's a great market for listings in our area. I think there's a great market to increase inventory in our area.
So how are you literally getting those listings? Are these your past clients that you helped buy? Or you mentioned that you're working with property managers and those relationships. Like, how do you market for listings in your territory?
So I've been farming for a really long time.
Good
I
old
said that I'm
farming.
a huge believer in farming. I think that it works. I see the results every month. Farming, property management, relationships, and yes, past clients as well. Combination.
Luana, what's your farming actually look like? Can you break it down? Like
Yeah,
postcards, mailers,
I'm like
what do you
looking
do?
for you. Like, where are you? My farming looks like a combination of basically 4 things. Everything should have a consistent message across all platforms.
This is taking note time, guys. So yeah, this is good stuff. Anytime that someone has something that they can rattle off at the top of like that, you know they're doing it all the time. So go ahead, I digress.
So I try to start with what's fun. So social media for me is fun. Make great connections on social media. So very consistent there. I close at least 1 deal per month from social media. Then I layer on top my postcards for farming. I send thousands of postcards. I know that sounds insane, but it works. Put a little QR code on that postcard and make it easy for people to be able to schedule an appointment with you. Make yourself bookable on every single platform. And then in addition to that, I've started geofencing and geofarming. If you haven't looked that up ever, definitely look into it. I'm a little late to the game, but I'm seeing really great results from that. And then I did invest in a really great website this year. I mean, you know, I say great, you can judge, but
Your website is great. I saw it.
So I did invest in a really good website that I'm proud to promote that actually drives traffic, and I'm getting a lot more organic leads. So social media, geofencing and farming, website, and postcards, and that is pretty much it. Community events in my neighborhood, that's kind of like on a more local level with those property managers, one-on-one lunches, but those are my 4 basic layers for farming to get seller leads specifically.
Okay, I have 2 questions, and then we'll open it up, or if Aaron wants to ask anything from the audience. So in real estate, I think one of the hardest things for you guys is that your job is never done. Would you agree? You're just like, there's never a day that you could say, honey, I'm home. I've made 100 widgets and my day is done. It's just like you decide when you're going to stop, right? So you can sleep and eat and spend time with family, but there's never a time that it's done. So I'd love to hear from you guys, what is your measure of a successful week? Like what's like is it a list of things that you do? Is it if I spoke with this many new relationships? Is there a measure, or daily for that matter, that you have to say, today was a good day, I can check it off, or a good week?
If I'm in Carmel, California for the week, that's a good week.
Agreed.
But I think that is, whoever said, how many people got in this business to pick your own hours to work, right? Your friend got into it. Yeah, I make my own schedule. No, you don't. You are a slave to the business like we all are. Come on. But yeah, I think a successful week is one where, really it comes down to the client, and you get, even for my agents, and we get, people that are very grateful for the purchase, and they send pictures of their family enjoying the property, or you see them at the resort, happen to be at Reunion Resort. So wherever it is, that's a really good week when you get gratitude for what you do as a job.
Yeah, it's a good one, right? What about you, Lou?
So I do have a number goal for appointments per week. I think I don't get to the closing table very often because most of my clients are not here. So I don't get that, wow, wonderful magic moment very frequently. It's like, hey, we signed 12 hours time difference from you. So I shoot for 3 listing appointments a week. If I get 3 a week, that's a good week. So however many calls, whatever I have to do to get those 3, I will get those 3 every week.
Yep, I like it. What about you, Lisa?
I look at more, every week is a little bit different, and with so many of my clientele being out of town, it's hard to set a goal for meetings, but I think it's more important just touches. What can I control? If I reach out to, X many people, this week, if I, usually I have a project, every week. So it's like, I need to finish this project. I got to prepare this new listing. So it's just, you start the week, you set up, what are my biggest, things that I need to tackle this week? And as long as, you took care of them, they're going to be different every week, at least for me. But as long as I take care of them by the end of the week, then I can kind of relax. And
how many touches you set as a goal, and what do you count as a touch? Do they have to pick up? Do you have to talk to them? Is it reaching out?
Right now it's less, but we were try to do 50 touches a day. Now I have a big database, that we've built up over, a long, long time. I have thousands and thousands of buyers and sellers that are on our database. And a touch could simply be a text, it could be an email, it could be a phone call.
You reaching out?
Yes, me reaching out to them.
Where'd the thousands come from, out of curiosity?
Lead generating on our website.
Got it, for years.
Yes.
Yeah, and to that point, like one of the things that we like to do is text warfare. Texting is actually a really great way for people not to have to get on a phone with somebody. So sending out pictures of something really attractive and saying, hey, just touching base, are you still interested in real estate? We talked a while back. That gets a very good response.
Yeah, I think sometimes we overthink, right? Of like this whole script, like it has to be some elaborate thing, a big book. It's like just reaching out goes a very long way, right? We all know
TJ,
that. But
give us a few more of those nuggets. You train an entire team of, let's just call them sales assassins in your area. Tell me a few of the other tips and tricks that you're teaching them that are really helping you reach people, convert people. Like, give me some of the goods that you're having your guys do from a sales standpoint and a process standpoint that helps you close more deals and get more sellers and buyers.
Yeah, I think we've got a few of our sales folks here, so I won't embarrass them here and talk about them. But the way that we go about selling real estate, I think that's a really valuable thing that everyone can take note of, because being on many appointments with hundreds or thousands of real estate agents, I see a lot of commonalities between the top 3% and the not top 3%. And when you're on an appointment with somebody and they're, pointing out like, and here's the kitchen. I don't know what gave it away was the stove or the refrigerator, but you really have to paint a little bit more of the picture of them and the lifestyle of a house or a property or a community. And we do a really good job of that when we sit down. We build tremendous rapport with people on the phone, on a video, or sit down and really listen to what they they want and their needs. And when you listen to what they want, they feel like you build that rapport and you're really looking out for them. And because we're experts of what we put in our container, we can help them navigate what might be the best for them. And as you're going through that process, you build that relationship. So I think our agents build a very good relationship and a funneling process to help them.
So to build on that, that was actually going to be my question is, you're all leaders and you have had teams and you have agents and people that you worked with and interacted with, but in your direct report, what are some things that some people that didn't make it or didn't do as well as they could have done? What are some, I don't want to say mistakes, let's call them missed opportunities. What are some things that some people might do because there's maybe some of those things that some of us in this room are doing and not even realizing it? Missteps.
I've got one, and is that they answered a question that they didn't know the answer to.
Yes.
It's much better to say, you know what, I don't know that, but that's a good question. I'll get that information for you. That's all they want to hear. In our corridor, you know, they know you don't know everything, and not expecting you to, but again, I could go on for hours, and I won't. But people leave you with a feeling. Yes. They might remember only 10% of what you say. I think they say it's actually less than that, but they'll leave with a feeling of who you are and how that rapport building and friendship you can build.
And how confident you were and how you cared, you listened, how you, go ahead, Liz.
I think just, took the words right out of my mouth. If you don't know something, it's okay just to say, I'm not too sure, let me confirm and get back to you. You really only get one chance to make a first impression, obviously, so I couldn't agree more. I think just, and a lot of times when we're working in this market with these types of clients, they know if we know. They're investors, they work with money, so if we don't know something, just say, I don't know. They're gonna know, and it's gonna discredit you and the experience for the client. So sometimes less is more. Active listening.
I think, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is trying to sell. And what I mean by trying to sell is trying to put somebody on something just because you think that's the best for them or you want to sell that property. My approach is I give information. I give you the details. I give you the information that you're looking for. You make the decision. And when I do that, everyone, respects the approach. They appreciate it because these are smart people. These are affluent people that we're dealing with. They're, very, very successful for the most part. They don't need to be sold on anything. They don't want to work with somebody who's trying to push them on something. All they need is the information to make them feel comfortable, to make them feel confident, to be able to make that decision. They know what they want. They just don't know all the ins and outs, and that's where we come in. We give them that information, they make the decision, and they're happy with that decision, and then nothing ever comes back on me, because something you alluded to earlier where you never want somebody coming back to you and telling you, hey, this isn't renting like you said it would, or this doesn't do what you said it was going to do.
There he is, get him, right? You don't want to hear that.
Right, ever. I never tell anybody, I never give my opinion, never give my opinion, and I never tell you what I think is something is going to do. I give you facts, details, straight information. You take it and you run with it.
Wow. So okay, real talk. You never give your opinion, which I love. So let's role play for a second. So do you think this would be a good home for me to buy? You know this market. I don't live here full time. You think I'll be able to rent this out for top dollar? What do you think?
Well, based on what the property manager told us. Based on what you told me you were looking for, in the budget that you were looking for, in the area that you were looking for, right? That's where those consultations are so important at the beginning, because if you don't know what they're looking for, that's when you're trying to sell, right? If you don't know what it is that they're looking for, what their budget is, what their end goal is, but when you know everything, when you've built that rapport, and you've built that relationship, and you get them to open up, and you get them to tell you what their true budget is, what their time frame is, well, you can give them all the information to make those moves. But a question like that basically is, well, based on what you said, based on what your goals are, based on what the lender said, what the property manager said, what the accountant said, this sounds like it could be the best deal for you.
That's so true, because like that affirmation, you get them to repeat it, and if you have a couple, he might say it and she might not want it, right? And so then you get dialogue between them as far as what they really want. You need to hear from all parties, but that affirmation is key.
I liken it to if someone wanted you to buy them an outfit at the mall and they gave you, I don't know, $200 and said, go buy me an outfit. Well, I'd have a lot of questions, right? What outfit I might like might not be the same outfit that you would like. So you want to ask and qualify what kind of style do you like. It's the same kind of thing with the house. I don't know if we had any questions from the audience.
I'm going to go in 1 second. How many of you guys learned something so far? Make some noise and give it up for a panelist. We are not done yet, so don't worry. I'm going to still ask them 1 or 2 more questions. But real quick, I wanted to go around the room. Don't forget, first $500 plus tips is on us spent today, so stick around, grab some food. I'm sure some of these people will still be here to answer questions. How many of you guys learned something and want to share? I want to get like 2, 3 takeaways from the room before we ask the last few questions. Yep, right here.
Yep.
Geofencing, geofarming. Look it up and learn it. Have another one. Good catch.
Oh, he's got prizes
Yep.
on top of it.
Focus on one thing, be an expert on one thing. Love it. Yep, right here. Partner with property managers. By the way, where are the property managers that are supporters of Real Producers in the room? Raise your hand if you're a property manager. I know there's a couple of them around here.
Be, yeah.
Raise your hand. Okay.
Good question. Good question.
Where else? Yep.
Make yourself bookable on multiple platforms.
Make yourself bookable on multiple platforms. Real quick, what's that actually look like, Luana?
Just backlink to everything. I use Calendly, Linktree, the little QR codes on anything that goes out so that they can schedule pretty easily.
Her stuff is so good. I was trying to reach out to you to connect and have a little conversation, and everywhere I went, it was like popping up, making me schedule an appointment with Lou. I'm like, this is awesome. This girl's all over it. It's great.
I love it. Let's get 2 more. Who else has one? Yep. Anyone else? Someone give me a takeaway. Yep. Someone over there just said something. Right yep. Go for it. Go for it. You're not selling a house. You're selling a neighborhood community and lifestyle. Right here at the bar.
Nice.
Send postcards out. Actually, you know what? I'm going to ask you about the postcards.
She wants those 3 clients. I got it. I hear you.
So before we ask the last 2 questions, I want to ask about the postcards. And you guys can all answer this, but I'm asking Luana first. What do your postcards actually say? If I decide I'm going to commit to doing postcards, what should go in it?
They're short, sweet, and to the point. They're not overloaded with information. They're not overloaded with graphics. They're on brand, and they have a call to action. It is very simple. It doesn't take that much time.
Give me like a couple call to action examples. Just like ramble a few off for me.
I'll promote something like a product that we might have that could help them get their home ready to sell. So for instance, we have a Compass Concierge. If there's something that you offer like that, want more info on how to prep your home, here's the link, here's the QR code. Again, schedule. Here's me, here's what I'm selling for in this neighborhood. I don't really do market updates. Again, I want them to call me. I don't want to give them all the information on that postcard where they're like, okay, thanks, and they throw it away. Even some of my postcards to my farm locally, I send out school calendars. How many houses I go to that have those on their fridge. Polk County emergency numbers, how many houses I go to that have those on their fridge. So sometimes it's a resource, sometimes it's something about me, and sometimes it's, hey, now's a great time to sell.
Love it. Either of you have something to add in what you postcard mail? Or?
It's always that call to action, and one we just sent out recently was market shift. And remember, when you open up your browser, you only get a couple words. And that's when you click on it, right? And so that call to action of what it is, and right now, market shift is a good one. Evaluation, is your home peaked? Questions like that, you're putting a question in their head, so they're saying, maybe I'm looking at the news because they get all this peripheral news. If you watch the news, I do not. They get this peripheral news and thought process of maybe this is the timing, so maybe I should reach out. Everyone can use that.
What would you do with the equity in your home?
Great one.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that. Note that.
All right. I got one more question for the panelists, and Tobi may have one more after that. But can we give a round of applause to Tobi Moyle for moderating the panel? And one more round of applause to the panelists. Here's my question for you guys, and if you want to add one after, go for it. My question for you is if I dropped you off with a backpack, like from scratch, in let's just say a new tourism area, or if you had to start from scratch in the Disney side of town and you knew nobody, had to start over, what would you do first? And how would you do it?
Yeah, that's tough.
So if you had to rebuild, what would you do first and how would you do it?
Am I falling out of a plane or?
You land it healthily.
What's in this backpack?
But you're in a new area
Yeah, what's
that's
in the backpack?
tourism related, and you have to restart. How would you restart?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, you got to get a website. So I was pretty amazed at how few hands actually were raised when they said they have a website. If you're in this business, you need something to get a brand behind, you know, and or confirm that you're in real estate versus a business card. So definitely get a website with an IDX, as Luis explained. And then as far as how you promote that, you know, that costs money, and you can look at Google and all of the ways to promote that, but you definitely got to get a website.
I'm going to say this, I'm just going to throw it out there. If I were in Davenport, it would be a pub, and I don't even say that jokingly. So much of our business is from the UK. So you've got to know what the people that are buying and selling in your area do for fun. They watch football on Sunday. So every Sunday, I go to the Best of British and I watch English football. Do you know how many clients I've met just getting face to face, shaking hands with people? They let their guard down. You're in their natural element where they feel comfortable. So go where they are. Reach them where they're comfortable.
Did you
Meet
like
them where
football
they are.
before? Or?
My husband's British.
Oh, okay.
So yes, I do, but even still, before, you know, it's a great way to meet people. Get out where the people are going to be. Go where the locals go. Go where the tourists go. Get to know that area.
Fish where the fish are, right?
Yeah.
I think the simplest thing you can do is do your research. You know, look at what is selling, where is it selling, where is there a window of opportunity? Is it this neighborhood? Is it that neighborhood? Is it a general area? If you're in a tourism area, right, whatever drives tourists there, that's easy, right? That's marketable. Anybody can do a video about Disney World or Universal, SeaWorld, the parks, the attractions. But, you know, if I was going into a brand new area, you gotta dig deep into the MLS, get some data. You know, TJ mentioned a neighborhood earlier, Solterra. How many millions was it?
220.
$220 million in real estate last year. There's not one whale in there, right? There's not a dominant force in that community. You do your research like that, and you pick what you want to go after.
I'll also say if you just do what's fun, you can start anywhere. If it doesn't feel like work, go with what feels natural for you. Everybody doesn't feel great doing video, so maybe just don't do that first. I'm an in-person person. I like meeting people, so that's my comfort zone. That's what I would start with. And then again, you layer from there the things that are a little more challenging.
Thank you guys for letting me host, and thank you very much for being so accommodating. Last quick question, rapid fire. What's next for you? Got any big goals next on the horizon?
4.5 billion.
Ooh, all right.
Is that a beat?
Throwing it down. Try it on mine.
Going into the Champions Gate market.
Woo! Nice.
You heard it here.
I got one quick question, rapid fire question.
Okay, hang on.
I did, but let him answer that one.
Yeah,
first.
go ahead. Rapid.
I was just going to say lunch.
I want to know real quick, any tools or resources that agents in this room should be using, whether it's an app, whether it's a resource, whether it's a program. What are the tools and resources that you love using? Just ramble them off. Anyone that wants to throw some out that agents should want to look up.
You got to have a website. You got to have a CRM. If you're
CRM.
Realtor tools that you need for your business are great. I think one cool thing about getting to know what's going on in the community, Growth Spotter. Growth Spotter is something that I subscribe to, and that's how I know who bought that piece of land down the street and what the plans are for that piece of land, how many homes they're going to build, if it's commercial, if it's residential. Every project in Central Florida is basically on there.
Goal?
Huh?
Goal on the horizon? What's you? We didn't get your answer. This
Uh,
will drive some of us OCD people nuts. What's
Goal, my wife and I are launching our own brand, and it's still going to be in the Disney corridor, and I'm really, really excited about that.
Awesome. Great. All right, guys. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you.
All right.
We're good. All right, we're good.
Let's give it up
Good.
one more time
You
for
guys-
all the panelists and
you
to
guys are
Tobi
released.
and to Harry Buffalo. Make sure you get registered for next month at MasterclassOrlando.com. We're going to have Lee Goldberg and Loretta Maimone and someone else on stage, and they will be bringing. Thank you guys for coming.